Hey everybody, David here, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the movie Warcraft, which just dropped out this week, directed by Duncan Jones. And what did I think of it? Here we go. So, first off, I should mention that I never played the video game Warcraft before. So, going into this, I was unaware of any of the references or inside jokes or whatever there was to the video game. Because, yeah, I never played it. My brother had, though, and he said he got a lot of the references and inside jokes that were within the film. And as someone who's never played the game, I actually enjoyed it quite a bit. I'm not going to say it's a perfect movie. I'm not going to say it's in my top 5 of the year. I've only seen maybe a handful of movies so far this year, maybe I think 11 or 12. I think this is like the 12th film so far of 2016 that I've seen. And I enjoyed it. There were times where I was a little bored by it, but for the majority of the movie, I think I had a good time with it. I think I enjoyed most of the characters. I think I was following pretty well. The special effects in this movie are kind of hit and miss for me a little bit sometimes. Sometimes they look really good, especially on the orc characters. I thought the orcs looked really good. But there were times on some of the background and scenery special effects where it looked a little cartoonish, I guess, sometimes, or video game-ish, if you will, at times. But for the most part, I think the special effects were good enough for the movie and the story. I guess they were trying to tell. The story is pretty much simple. I don't know how the story is in the video game, but the story here is that these orcs from another world come to our world once a portal is open, and yeah, they want to take over our world. Although there are some good orcs on the orc side and there's some bad humans on the human side, at the end of the day, it's not as black and white as you might think, and that's actually what I thought was interesting about the movie. By the end of it, I'm like, oh, okay, so not all the orcs are bad, not all the humans are good. There's a gray area on both sides, and that's what I liked about it, and that was interesting to me about it. A lot of the characters in this movie, some are memorable, some are forgettable, but for the most part, I think it's an even balance, and I think I enjoyed the orcs more than I enjoyed the human element of it. I get why we need to have that human element for us to connect to and see a little bit. Like, I don't come from that time, so I don't know how I'm gonna connect to it. When I go watch a movie, I don't care about connecting to characters. Well, I do a little bit, but like what I mean is I don't care if they're in a situation that I have never been in, because I'll never be in that situation during that maybe period in time, whatever period in time they might be in, where orcs and dwarves and elves were all and wizards all coexisted, right? But I'm just looking for a good story, and if there's anything relatable, then that's probably a plus. The story, there's a little Bible-ish element to it also. Literally, there's a scene like you'll be thinking to yourself, because my brother turned to me at the end of the movie and he said the exact same thing, where it's the Moses scene, where Moses is put down the river and as his mother's watching, and then she's killed. I won't spoil who, but when you see the scene, you'll know what I'm talking about. So there's always elements like that in these type of movies. What I really liked about it is that it felt a little bit like Lord of the Rings, but not quite as good. You know what I mean? I was hoping for it to be that good, but I think Lord of the Rings is a tough one to beat because so much effort was put into those films. This film, though, I will say, leaves it in a way where I can see a sequel doing much better. And that's why I hope this movie does well in the box office, because I think there is potential there for them to do better. I think they can see what worked in this movie and what didn't work, and I can see them trying to fix that for the sequel, if a sequel happens, which if a sequel is announced and they said, yeah, it's coming out in 2018, 19, yeah, sure, I'd go watch it again because I enjoyed aspects of this film, and I enjoyed learning about this world that they were introducing us to. That I would be open to a sequel, and I'd probably line up at the next one, especially if it looks really good. But that's the thing, right? If it looks good, because if the studio doesn't put effort into it, then the movie could just be even worse than this one. But thankfully, this one was a good start for those people that are looking for the video game genre to start being the next genre after the superhero genre. This is potential. I'll say that much. So guys, with all that being said, I'm going to say go check out Warcraft. I think it's a worthy film to go and check out. Why not? Some of you are probably wondering, if you're watching this review, like, you're probably wondering, David, how come you're not doing your green screen? I felt like doing it casual for this one. Why not? Once in a while I can do it a little casual review, right? It doesn't always have to be fancy green screen behind me. I can do it with anything in the background. Hey, at least I got some movie posters back here, so that's pretty cool. I wanted to show off my movie posters. And so with that being said, guys, subscribe to my video or my channel. Like this video if you agree with me, or to tell me what you think about Warcraft if you saw it already, or if you're looking forward to it. I don't know. Ask me questions, guys. If you want to ask me questions about the movie, like if you want to be spoiled, let me know. I'm gonna warn you though. I don't know any. I've already forgotten all the names of the characters. These names are like Game of Thrones type names where I'll just easily forget about it after I exited the theater. Dominic Cooper though was in this movie. That wasn't his character name. And Ben Foster is in this movie too. I was looking at his character and I was like, I know this actor from somewhere. And then I realized it was Ben Foster. For those of you that don't know Ben Foster, search him up on IMDb. But the movie I'll remind you all about is he was in X-Men The Last Stand. That's a movie that everybody will probably remember him from, where he played Angel. So there you go. And with that being said, guys, check out my Facebook, check out my Twitter. There's many ways you guys can follow me and check me out and talk to me, interact with me. And check out my podcast, which I'm hoping to do another episode this week. I didn't do one last weekend, but this weekend I hope to. And with all that being said, take care.